Stepchildren told me to know my place in their house, so I knew exactly where I belonged, gone, along with my financial contributions. Hello everyone, welcome to Reddit Visuals. You know what I used to believe? That love could eventually earn you respect. That if you gave enough of yourself, your time, your energy, your money, people would finally see you as family. But some people will drink from your well for years and still complain the water isn't cold enough. My name's Kevin. I'm 43, an electrician by trade, and I thought I was building a blended family. Turns out I was just funding a cast of ungrateful freeloaders who treated me like a walking ATM with a toolbox. This is the story of how 3 stepchildren taught me that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is walk away. Let me take you back 7 years ago when this nightmare began. I met Rebecca when I was 36. She was 34, divorced, with 3 kids. Tyler, 14, Ashley, 12, and Jordan, 10. Looking back, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe because Rebecca was one of those women who could command a room just by walking into it. Confident, sharp, and had this energy that made you feel like you were the only person in the world when she focused on you. At the time, I was renting a decent 2-bedroom apartment and saving up to buy a house. Rebecca and her kids were crammed into a tiny rental that was falling apart. The landlord wouldn't fix anything, and her ex-husband Derek was 3 months behind on child support. Again. After we'd been dating for 8 months, I made what I thought was a romantic gesture. I found a beautiful 4-bedroom house in a great school district and suggested we move in together. I'd cover the down payment and mortgage, she'd handle groceries and household stuff. We'd be a team. The kids seemed excited about having their own rooms, a big backyard, and a basement game room. I spent weeks setting everything up. Gaming systems for Tyler, a study nook for Ashley, and a reading corner for Jordan. I wanted them to feel like this was their home, too. And for the first year, things were good. Really good. I wasn't trying to replace their dad. Derek saw them every other weekend when he felt like it, but I was present. School pickups when Rebecca worked late, homework help, driving them to practices and friends' houses. I fixed their bikes, taught Tyler basic car maintenance, and helped Ashley with science projects. I genuinely loved those kids, and I thought they were starting to love me back. But somewhere around year 2, things shifted. It started small. Tyler would forget to say thank you when I bought him something. Ashley would roll her eyes when I tried to help with homework. Jordan started calling me Kevin instead of the nickname Kev she'd been using. Rebecca noticed too. They're just testing boundaries, she said. All kids do it with step-parents. They'll grow out of it. Except they didn't grow out of it. They grew into it. By year 3, the disrespect was obvious. When people asked about their family, they'd say, "It's me, my mom, my brother, and my sister." I was invisible. At Tyler's football games, he'd introduce Rebecca as my mom and ignore me entirely, even though I was the one who'd been driving him to practice 3 times a week for 2 years. But I kept giving. Ashley wanted to join the expensive dance academy. I wrote the check. Jordan needed a tutor for math. I found the best one in town and paid for weekly sessions. Tyler's car broke down. I spent my entire Saturday fixing it for free. And what did I get in return? Eye rolls, sighs. Whatever, Kevin. Rebecca started making excuses for them. They're teenagers. They're dealing with divorce trauma. Derek fills their heads with nonsense about you. But Derek was barely around. He'd canceled so many weekends that the kids had stopped expecting him. I was the one showing up. I was the one they depended on. But apparently, that made me the hired help, not family. Things came to a head last year when Rebecca and I got married. I thought maybe making it official would change things. I learned the hard way that it never does. I felt that the kids would see me as a permanent part of their lives, not just mom's boyfriend. I even asked Tyler to be in the wedding party. He said yes, but I could tell he wasn't enthusiastic. The wedding was small but beautiful. Rebecca looked amazing. The kids participated, but it felt more like they were going through the motions. During the reception, I overheard Ashley talking to her cousin. "Yeah, Mom married Kevin. He pays for everything, so I guess it makes sense. Not we love him, or he's good to us. Just he pays for everything." That should have been my wake-up call, but I was still hopeful. After the honeymoon, I suggested we all sit down and talk about what being a blended family meant. Ground rules, expectations, respect. Tyler cut me off mid-sentence. Dude, just because you married our mom doesn't mean you're our dad. You need to understand that. Ashley nodded. Yeah, Derek is our dad. You're just Kevin. Jordan, who I thought was closest to me, delivered the killing blow. You're nice and everything, but you're not really family. You're more like Mom's helper. Rebecca just sat there, said nothing. Didn't defend me, didn't correct them, didn't establish any boundaries. Just uncomfortable silence. That night I couldn't sleep. I realized I'd been fooling myself for years. These kids didn't see me as a father figure. They saw me as a resource, a convenient wallet that fixed things and drove them places. But I still wasn't ready to give up. Until 3 months ago, when I overheard the conversation that changed everything. I'd come home early from a job site to grab some tools I'd forgotten. The kids didn't hear me come in. They were in the kitchen, talking while making after-school snacks. Tyler, Kevin thinks he's our dad or something. It's honestly embarrassing. Ashley, I know, right? Like, dude, you're not special. You just married our mom. Jordan, he acts like he owns this house or something. Like we should be grateful he exists. Tyler, he needs to know his place. This is our house, our family. He's just the guy who pays the bills. Ashley, exactly. He's lucky Mom lets him stick around. Most divorced moms wouldn't put up with some random guy trying to play daddy. Jordan, he's so desperate for us to like him. It's actually pathetic. And then they all laughed. Not cruel laughter, just casual amusement, like I was a joke they shared. I stood there in my own hallway, in the house I was paying for, listening to kids I'd raised for 7 years talk about me like I was some pathetic charity case they were forced to tolerate. That's when something inside me died. Not broke, died. I quietly went back to my truck and drove around for 2 hours thinking. When I came back, I acted completely normal. Had dinner, helped Jordan with homework, and asked Tyler about his football practice. But inside, I was done. Over the next few weeks, I started documenting everything. Every bill I paid, every expense I covered, every service I provided. The mortgage, utilities, groceries, car insurance for Tyler, dance classes for Ashley, tutoring for Jordan, clothes, phones, gaming subscriptions, streaming services, everything. The total was staggering. Over the past 7 years, I had spent almost $400,000 on this family. Please don't judge. I did what I did for love. Now I realize I should have invested in something else. This does not include the house down payment. I also started recording conversations, not to be sneaky, but to protect myself. Because I had a feeling things were about to get ugly. And I was right. Last month, everything exploded. Rebecca had been working late all week, so it was just me and the kids for dinner. I'd picked up their favorite takeout and set everything up nicely. Tyler was on his phone, Ashley was complaining about her teachers, and Jordan was ignoring everyone. I tried to start a conversation. So, how was everyone's day? Tyler didn't even look up. Fine. Tyler, can you put the phone down during dinner? We're trying to talk. He finally looked at me, and his expression was pure disdain. You're not my dad. You don't get to tell me what to do. Ashley jumped in immediately. Yeah, Kevin, just because you live here doesn't mean you make the rules. And then Jordan, sweet little Jordan, said the words that ended it all. This isn't even your house. It's ours. You need to remember your place. I set down my fork very carefully. My place? Tyler smirked. Yeah, your mom's husband. That's it. You don't get to parent us or act like you're in charge. Ashley nodded. We have a dad. We don't need another one, especially not one who tries so hard. This is our family, Jordan added. You're just here. I looked around the table at these 3 kids I'd loved, supported, and sacrificed for. Kids who were telling me I didn't belong in the house I was paying for, in the family I'd been building for 7 years. You're right, I said quietly. I do need to know my place. I stood up, went to my office, and printed out every financial document from the past 7 years. Bank statements, mortgage payments, utility bills, receipts, everything. Then I called my lawyer. When Rebecca came home that night, I was waiting with the binders. "We need to talk," I said. She could tell something was wrong. "What's going on?" I played her the recording from that afternoon. The kids telling me I wasn't family, that this wasn't my house, that I needed to know my place. Her face went white. "Kevin, they're just kids? Teenagers? Going through a phase?" I interrupted. "Rebecca, they've been telling me I'm not family for years. You've heard it. And you've never once defended me or corrected them." She started to argue, but I held up my hand. "I'm done. I've spent 7 years trying to earn respect from people who see me as a walking credit card. I've paid for everything, shown up for everything, and gotten nothing but disrespect in return." I slid the binders across the table. "These are copies of every expense I've covered. The house, the utilities, their clothes, their activities, their everything. $400,000 over 7 years, not including my time, my effort, my love." Rebecca was crying now. "Kevin, please. I'm selling my half of the house. You can buy me out or find somewhere else to live. The utilities are being transferred to your name. I'm removing myself from everything, insurance, phone plans, streaming services, all of it. You can't just abandon us." "I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm respecting their wishes. They don't want me to act like family? Fine. They don't want me making rules in their house? Fine. They want to know my place? My place is somewhere I'm actually wanted." The next few days were chaos. The kids suddenly realized what "Kevin just pays for everything" actually meant when the Wi-Fi got cut off, when Tyler's car insurance lapsed, and when Ashley's dance classes got canceled for non-payment. Tyler was the first to crack. "Dude, this is crazy. We didn't mean it like that." "Yes, you did. And that's okay. Your real dad can handle all of this now." Ashley tried tears. "Please don't leave us. We're sorry." "Sorry for what exactly? For years of disrespect? For telling me I'm not family? Or just sorry that your free ride is ending?" Jordan, whom I'd always been closest to, broke my heart one last time. "I didn't know you were keeping track of money. That's kind of mean." Even in her apology, she was making me the bad guy. Rebecca begged, pleaded, promised things would change. But 7 years of patterns don't change overnight, and I was exhausted from trying to love people who saw that love as weakness. I moved out 2 weeks later, found a nice apartment across town. Just me, my tools, and my peace of mind. The house sold quickly. Rebecca couldn't afford the mortgage on her own. She and the kids moved in with her sister. Derek, the real dad, suddenly became very busy whenever they needed anything. I got a few letters from the kids over the next few months. Tyler wrote that he didn't realize how much I did. Ashley said she took me for granted. Jordan sent a drawing with "I'm sorry" written in crayon. But none of them could articulate what they were actually sorry for. They were sorry I left. They weren't sorry for how they treated me. I didn't respond to any of the letters. 6 months later, Rebecca texted me. "Derek can't handle them. Tyler is failing school, Ashley quit dancing, and Jordan cries every night. They need stability. They need you." I texted back, "They made it very clear I wasn't their family. Nothing's changed." She tried calling for weeks. I blocked the number. Because here's what I learned. You can't love someone into respecting you. You can't sacrifice your way into mattering. And you can't buy a place in someone's heart. Those kids had 2 fathers, one who chose to be absent and one who chose to give them everything. They chose DNA over devotion. So I chose myself. A year later, I met Sarah. She's a teacher, divorced, no kids. She treats me like I'm the most important person in her world. We're getting married next month. Sometimes I see Rebecca at the grocery store. She looks tired and stressed. We nod politely but don't talk. I heard through mutual friends that Tyler dropped out of high school. Ashley is working at a fast food place, and Jordan is struggling in school. Do I feel bad? Sometimes. But I also remember that 16-year-old Jordan telling me I needed to know my place in the house I was paying for. I knew my place all right. It was anywhere but there. So was I wrong for walking away from 3 kids who spent 7 years telling me I wasn't their family? For letting their real dad handle the consequences? For choosing my own happiness over their convenience? I don't think so. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop enabling someone's worst behavior, even if it means walking away from people you genuinely cared about. The kids learned that just Kevin was actually the foundation their whole world was built on. Too bad they figured that out after the foundation was gone. What would you have done? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story is something you relate to, please like and subscribe. We've got more family drama coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.